1 ranunculus, 2 ranunculus, 3 ranunculus, 4 ranunculus, 5 ranunculus. And today I'm going to share with you ranunculus number 6. That's right, and you're probably wondering why all these of the same pattern. It is the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, and I decided to do number 6 because I was doing a knit along with Susie and Linda from Yarn Over With Us, and they showed how you can figure out the best sizing for you with this ranunculus pattern, and they give you the calculations. There's a video and Linda walks you through on how to determine from all the possible sizes of the ranunculus what size would be best for you with the yarn that you have, because the ranunculus can be made with fingering weight, DK weight, worsted weight yarns, and getting gauge. You can have something really airy and see-through with a fingering weight yarn, or you can have something closed in. So I have made a number, as you can see, of ranunculus over these years. A couple of mine are woolly wools. The first 2 that I showed you, the next 2 were cotton, and then I made one that with mohair and llama yarn. I really wanted a ranunculus that was going to be a lighter weight that I could use in the spring and maybe even in the summer, depending in the evenings perhaps. And so I used the calculations from Linda and Susie to create a swatch and get a fabric that I wanted. So I used a fingering weight yarn. Here is the yarn. It is, what is this yarn called? I have to look it up to tell you. It is a sock-based yarn, and it calls for 3 millimeter, 2.5 millimeter needle. And so I created a swatch using this fingering weight yarn, and I didn't follow the gauge. I just created a fabric that I really liked. So there was no airiness to this. You can't see through it, and that's what I really wanted. So I used their calculations. I found a fabric I like, and I decided that the best size for me would be a size 8, because that's the number of stitches that I needed for the front to give me the width of the sweater that I wanted. All of my other ranunculus that I made were size 3. So it's a big leap, but I wasn't getting gauge. I was creating a fingering weight fabric that wasn't going to be see-through. So the yarn that I used was, I can tell you, Gathering Yarn, the basic sock, and it was in a charcoal color, and I used a US 3 and a US 6, which is a 3.25 millimeter and a 4 millimeter. So I started off, I didn't want the wide neck. With the ranunculus, you have options. You can do a narrow neckline or a very wide neckline. So I went for the narrow neckline, and I was using 4 millimeter for the body. So I decided to drop down a number of needle sizes in order to get a real structured neckline, which was the recommendation by Linda and Susie. When I did that, though, I couldn't pull it over my head because I was using this really fine fabric. I couldn't drop down that many needle sizes, so I had to take it out and then redo my neckline. And their recommendation was to cast on 90 stitches right away. Don't start with 60 and then increase later. I had forgotten that, so I started with my 3.25 or US 3 millimeter needles, and I cast on 60, and again I couldn't pull it over my head. I tore it out. At that point realized, oh yeah, I have to do 90. So with casting on 90 stitches, 3.25 millimeter, I managed to get the neckline that I wanted. Then I went on to do the short rows in the back and the front, and on to the yoke. The yoke is the same size for every single size of the ranunculus. And then after you're finished the yoke, and when you get into the raglan section, that's when you determine the size that you're going to do. As I mentioned, I went on to a size 8. I was really, really happy with this. I put the sweater on barber cord, which is that tubing that allows you to try it on. And I noticed that I might be a bit short in the raglan because I had made such a smaller um, gauge than what they had required in the project. It meant that I was putting more stitches on, and of this fingering weight, that means I had to not only increase horizontally, but I also had to increase vertically, which was the row sizing. So I think I did about 7 extra rows. And then I went on to the body. I was really, really happy with it. You have options to determine how you want that band to be at the bottom. I decided to do a ribbing, no I-card finish. And I finished the body and I was really happy with it. Then I took a look at what I had left with yarn and thought, wait a minute, I don't think I'm going to have enough because I didn't do a 14 stitch gauge. I did much smaller gauge, which means I was using more yarn. And so I weighed my yarn and knew that I was going to have whatever I had left, I was going to have to separate for sleeve 1, sleeve 2. So I finished the first sleeve, and again, I didn't do any I-cord finish. You have some options for the sleeves, and I just kept it a straight sleeve. I didn't do any shaping, and I did a ribbing finish, no I-cord finish, and I had to finish sooner than I would have liked. So it's about a 3/4 sleeve for me. I have very long arms, and this isn't going right to my wrist. So then I went on to do the next sleeve, and I realized I was going to run out sooner with this second sleeve, and I wasn't going to be even to make it as long as the first sleeve. So I finished the second sleeve. I identified where it was that I finished. I went back to the first sleeve and I pulled it out and made sure that I finished it like the second sleeve. So I had very little yarn left, but I didn't get the full length of sleeve that I would have liked for this sweater or this top. And I tried it on. I was like, okay, this was really a tester for me. I wanted to see what it would be like to do fingering weight with a fabric that wouldn't be see-through. So I washed it and blocked it, and I really liked it. I think it looks great on. Would I make this again? I think I would, and I would just obviously, if I want to do this fabric, where it's not see-through with a fingering weight, I'm going to need more than, I think I had 2 skeins, and I'm going to need more than that. Although I might make it a little bit smaller because I do have a lot of room in this. And I thought, this would be great as a turtleneck if I could use this fabric. And then I thought, oh, Care, if you want to make a turtleneck, just get a turtleneck pattern. But I am really happy with this. I know that they are still working on their cowl. I had to finish up because I only have 1 set of needles, and I'm going on to do a test knit project, so I had to get through this project so I could use my needles for the test knit. But that is the ranunculus in a fingering weight. Was there anything else I wanted to share with you? Will I do it again? I probably will. I've made for myself a 6 ranunculus. I've also made a ranunculus for a friend of mine. She's a yoga instructor. She gave me free instruction private yoga sessions, and so I knit for her a sweater of choice, and she had selected the ranunculus. So I have a couple, 3 winter ranunculus, 2 that are cotton. One of my cotton ranunculus is quite old and it's really worn, so I may make another one in cotton. At this point in time, that's it for 2026 with the ranunculus. I'm happy with this one. I definitely will wear it, and maybe in the future I will make more ranunculus. So check it out. It's a purchase pattern on Ravelry, and it allows you to do all kinds of different sizing, as well as fingering, DK, and worsted weight yarns, giving you different fabrics. And yeah, it's a great yoke, and it's a beautiful fit once you figure out what your size is. So check out Susie and Linda's Yarn Over with Us. You can check out their YouTube channel as well as their um, web page, and on the page you'll find the calculation. There's a video that teaches you how to calculate so that you can find the size that is best for you. So that is my ranunculus for 2026.